Russia. The Russian bear is unfortunately rattling its saber once again. Under Putin, Russia has had a history of troublesome, mischievous, and downright dangerous behavior. I'll give you an example. In 2004, there was a pro-Western candidate running for the presidency of the Ukraine. Now, Putin saw the Ukraine as a satellite state, and the Ukrainians said, no, we're a nation state, we're going to choose our own path. So Viktor Yushchenko, he was the candidate that wouldn't dance to Putin's tune, he was headed for victory. And that infuriated Putin. So it wasn't much later that Yushchenko was mysteriously poisoned and dang near killed. And it was confirmed that he had ingested hazardous amounts of TCDD, which is the most potent dioxin and a contaminant in Agent Orange. And what a coincidence. Nobody else got poisoned. All the candidates that Putin liked, they were fine. But the one he disliked and was angry with was poisoned. In 2008, Russia invaded the very small, non-threatening country of Georgia and stole 2 of its provinces. And in 2014, Putin grabbed the Crimea from the Ukraine, and it seems that only kind of whetted his appetite. And we could go on and on about this dictatorial regime's criminal behavior. And it's really sad because Russia was in the embryonic stages of actual democracy under Yeltsin. I mean, they had their problems, but they were starting on the right path. But Vladimir Putin came in there and he smuggled Russian freedom in its infancy. And really, at the end of the day, what he is nothing more than a 21st century czar. He has an inflated sense of self, and he's seemingly obsessed with 2 things. 1, his own legacy, and 2, reconstituting and dominating the old territories of the USSR. Today, there are news reports all over the place that he's amassed 100,000 troops on the border with the Ukraine. Now, there's only 2 reasons why you'd put nearly 10% of your entire armed forces on the Ukrainian border, because the Ukraine is not going to attack you. First, it's either to intimidate that country and the West into granting him concessions, or secondly, to actually plan to invade the country. And both are equally unacceptable and are not actions of a responsible peace-seeking nation. But then again, under Putin, Russia's never been either of those. And what we need to do is project strength. Putin's government now says they want guarantees from the West, and particularly the United States, that NATO won't expand eastward into the Ukraine. And I hope Biden does something right for a change and tells him to go stick it. Because we, the United States of America, shouldn't be dictated to by some nuclear thug. He's a bully and nothing more. The only reason why small countries like Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania that are in the Baltic, the only reason why they're safe is specifically because they are in NATO. And Article 5 of the Alliance's treaty states that an attack on one is an attack on all. So if Russia were to, say, attack Poland, that's paramount to attacking Britain, France, Germany, and worst of all for Putin, the United States. That's why he's so desperate to keep the Ukraine out of NATO. Only problem is, no one in the world unites NATO more than one guy. Say it with me, Vladimir Putin. And this saber rattling is just the sort of thing that could push NATO to actually offer the Ukrainians membership. Now, Ukraine's not a perfect country right now. They've got some issues with corruption, what have you. But in the meantime, we need to show strength, and we need to protect our interests, which is freedom and liberty and an integrated Europe. And the way to do that and keep the Russians off the Ukrainians' back is to arm the Ukrainians to the teeth. And at the same time, encouraging them to root out that corruption and continue to hold honest and free elections, and also develop their judiciary to be independent so that capitalism can then flourish there and their economy and people can prosper. We need to send a clear message to Putin that there is a line in the sand. I mean, we are Texans too, and there's no way that we're going to step back and retreat anymore from his aggression. That's showing leadership, and that's what Joe Biden needs to step up to the plate and do.